and welcome to What a Player Concussion Sub Retired Out series, where we are reviewing the post-match game between Rajasthan Royals and RCB. RCB has lost this game, Rajasthan beating them by 29 runs and reaching the top of the table almost halfway through, just over halfway through the IPL 2022. Um, I have Anil with me. Anil, first of all, how are you? And did you watch the game? Did you enjoy it?
Yes, I did watch the game. Didn't enjoy much. I thought it was supposed to be an easy chase, but yeah, RCB kind of couldn't do it. And Rajasthan Royals bowlers did bowl really a good spell. They all backed each other, so it was a good match then.
So I'm just going to quickly recap for everyone. So batting first, Rajasthan Royals were in big trouble, 99 for 5 almost, and then you had Riyan Parag proving all the naysayers wrong and getting a 56 not out. Absolutely crucial. Only 144 runs in the end. Looked very easy chase considering how little they had on the board. But RCB never ever looked in the game, and then you had top scorer Fab du Plessis, but Kuldeep Sen and the spinners uh, getting all 9 wickets between them. Prasidh Krishna 2, Ashwin 3, and Kuldeep Sen got 4 wickets. And never ever looked in the game, RCB. Anil.
Yeah, I mean, so what happened? I think is that they were not prepared for the bounce on the pitch. I felt the way the Faf got out, the way Kohli got out. I mean, Kohli is out of form right now, so he's trying to hit every ball. So it looks like everything is hitting the edge of his bat, right? Maxwell wasn't prepared for that kind of a bounce the way he got out. So that's why Prasidh Krishna and Kuldeep Singh really bowled really well, and that's where major of the wickets went. So yeah, and then also another thing that I've noticed that captains are winning tosses and they're still predicting there's going to be due, which is not happening. And game after game, we are seeing that the teams that are batting first are easily able to defend the score. So maybe that's where even RCB went wrong.
Yeah, and Gujarat is the only team. Hardik Pandya won the toss and batted once, but every other match we've had the captains electing to bowl first. So just taking, during the first innings, Anil, really good bowling performance by RCB. I thought
Yeah.
Hazelwood, Siraj, everyone chipped in the wickets. Did they give too many runs at the end? That drop catch from Hasaranga, 15-20 runs, probably the difference. But you would take 144 every day of the week in an IPL game chasing, right?
Definitely. So I mean, 144 does looks like a very moderate score, but I mean, given how IPL tournament is progressing, you can't give away even an inch. So even if you are last over, you are 120 or 125, you still can't give 16 or 20 odd runs in your last over. So I think that also, you have those sixes been hit in the last two, three balls. That's made a little bit of difference. So imagine if if they would have been chasing a score of 130 or something, Harshal Patel, Siraj, Hazelwood can even if just knock the ball around, they could have at least still tried, right? So even that matters.
Yeah, RCB has now lost 20 wickets for under 200, so 68 plus 115. This is really bad for their season at this point in time, and an absolutely crucial stage where you have all the big boys lurking at the bottom of the table. Between the last three, the teams at the bottom, they
Correct.
have 11 IPL titles. So this is the year they would be trying to, get that elusive title.
Correct. But it's going to be become more difficult for RCB now. If you look at the next three matches, the next match is with Gujarat Titans, who's almost at the top at the table. Then you have against CSK. They also will try to come back very strong. And then you have against SRH. And all these three matches are at different venues. So there's going to be a lot of travel. There's going to be a different type of pitch that they're going to get used to. And all your teams who has troubled RCB in the past, or they are in a good position right now. So it's going to be difficult for RCB, and I think to qualify, I think they need to still uh, top their game a lot right now. The batting has to become as strong as it's there on the paper. Yeah.
Yeah, and so obviously batting has been their problem in the previous games. A lot of the times, Butler for Rajasthan Royals, he's pretty much won 4 games single-handedly, and Dinesh Karthik did the same for RCB. So the top order not firing is a big concern. And Virat Kohli, now he batted at the top of the order, was a bit lucky initially in the first over, got a couple of boundaries, and I thought, okay, maybe this is the day he's going to turn things around. But did get out, and it's something that's getting more and more problematic for RCB.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's losing confidence, or even the team around him is kind of losing confidence. Because, if your main player is not performing, and, he's getting out on zeros or single digit score, some or other way it also affects the morale of the other team members also. Maybe that's also happening. So maybe someone has to just talk and see, what's the best way to go about it, right? Uh, so yeah, it's difficult for RCB from going forward from here. And what's also happening, like you said, the top order is not performing. You have Hardik Pandya performing for Gujarat Titans at the top. You have Josh Butler performing here. So if your top order is performing for you, same thing for LSG also. KL Rahul is performing. If that happens, I think the rest of the batting gets taken care of a little bit. Even if you knock around, if you score 15, 20, just your top batsman has to score. So if Kohli is not able to score at the top, if he's not in the form, it doesn't make sense to have him open also. You're looking at how the pitch is playing right now. There's a bounce. There's movement on the pitch. So if Kohli is not able to strike the ball, maybe one down, two down could also be done, right? And then the other batsmen, you have Prabhu Desai, you have Shabazz Ahmed. They are good players. They are able to knock the ball. So maybe they have at one down, some kind of changes. Clearly,
Yeah,
it's not working for RCB right now. And for
yeah,
Rajasthan Royal, I'm very surprised. I was just trying to figure out they didn't have a proper batting lineup. You have Ashwin coming early. Today, Riyan Parag came at 4 and 5. Hitmaya coming down, and they're still able to score a good run, or they're still able to make a match out of it. So that's been the main point. I think you have Butler coming and opening nicely, and the other team members are kind of chipping in, right? And then plus the brilliant bowling attack they have. So that's been the main reason why Rajasthan at the top right now.
absolutely. And then to what exactly what Andy has been asking as to what the problem is for RCB. So they did make that change, Anil. They dropped Anuj Rawat, got RCB, got Virat Kohli to open, and got Rajat
But
Patida.
I'm saying
Yeah,
if your Kohli is not in form, what's the point of having him open?
yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, I don't know. I've got a left field thought. Maybe get Harshal Patel to open or bat at number 3 because, anyways, he's batting so low down the order. He opens for Haryana, so maybe that's probably something which they're going to try out. But
no, maybe not Harshal Patel, but you could have Faf, or you could have Patidar. I think he seems to be knocking the ball well. Maybe for Hasaranga, you have Khan Sharma. Hasaranga is a good. He's been able to provide support, but he's not been a match winner kind of performance. We haven't seen that yet. So maybe make some changes there, and then have Kohli at 4 or something like that, where at least the seam and the bounce has kind of. I mean, your earlier batsman has taken care of that.
yeah, I think no one's going to drop Kohli, and if, of course
Yeah, I
not
mean,
because
correct. Yeah,
he's. I don't know. Today, it looked to me the 6 7 balls he was there. He did not look very comfortable. There
yeah.
wasn't any shot which was hitting the middle. So maybe he's lost that confidence. But
I
yeah,
mean, that's the thing. You are either an RCB fan or not. You're still an Indian fan, and it hurts to see your main batsman like that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, no, extremely disappointing. He almost got out for a duck when he flicked that ball, and I was like, okay, maybe this is his day. Then edge the ball to find leg goes to the boundary. But yeah, things are not working for him. Got out for a first
like
ball duck a couple of
if
games.
if, if he was in his normal state, that bouncer, I think he would have ducked it, or he may not have played it. But because he wants to get back into the form, he wants to play all the delivery. That's what happened.
Yeah,
Like
that
to
2016
get back
Kohli.
into form, he has to take more risk, and then he kind of underperformed. that also result into a failure. So
Yeah, so yeah, it is quite disheartening for the RCB fans. But they looking at the points table, I'm just gonna bring that up. It's still not too bad in my opinion. They still have. Just give me 1 second. So this is the points table as it stands. Rajasthan Royals, as I mentioned, Anil is top of the table, with followed by Gujarat Titans. SRH and Gujarat Titans play tomorrow. Then we got LSG, RCB, but their run rate is taking a huge dent. If you ignore MI, theirs is the worst run rate amongst the others. That will be a crucial aspect because even today, 29 runs in the context of the game is a big loss for RCB. Anil.
yeah, definitely. I mean, if you look at the next games for Rajasthan Royal, they have against Punjab, they have against MI, uh, and against I think LSG or something like that. So RR is in very comfortable position. Gujarat Titans is in a comfortable position. They have a game in hand. So does SRH. And if you see RCB, I think played 9 games, right? Yes.
That's right. They played 9 games.
So they have only 5 games, out of which three of the next games are against stronger teams.
Yeah,
So it becomes difficult there. So even if they win, they have to win big because the run rate is going to be a factor there.
they
LSG
so
seems to be in a good form. Yeah,
yeah. So out of the next 5 games, they are playing Gujarat twice. They're
uh,
playing next game against Gujarat, and then they've got Sunrisers as well as one game, and one against Punjab, and another against CSK. So it does look like, Anil, that the top two are going to
yeah.
stay between the top three at this point in time. Rajasthan Royals, GT, and SRH. We will have the top two within those three.
Looks like yeah. I think top two is finalized Rajasthan and Gujarat Titans. SRH they have another couple of games and they are also there. So yeah,
Obviously, touching the subject on Maxwell, he did come in to the tournament slightly late because of various reasons. And his inconsistency, Faf not necessarily performing as much as people would have wanted, and DK cannot do this every time. So I think the big boys not turning up on the big games is really hurting them. And I mean, to be fair, Prabhu Desai, Shabazz Ahmed, they're all going to be a supportive role. You can't expect them
correct. Yeah.
to win those games. So I think that's the biggest issue they have currently. And
Definitely. I mean, you're top. It's always been where RCB has performed really well with the batting, and it's the bowling unit is in kind of average performance. But I think this season's the bowling unit has actually come together. They're performing really well. But yeah, the batting is not supporting them. Maxwell seems out of touch actually. The way
yeah,
he got out today, he was also surprised. We were also surprised. How did that happen? Faf, yeah, inconsistent. I think the last game, the couple of other games losses is kind of weighing on him. I think the pressure it can be clearly seen. So yeah,
yeah.
it's going to be difficult for RCB right now. I mean, they still have chance. You can never say no in IPL, but yeah, it's going to be difficult for them.
A word on Riyan Parag. Obviously, he's taken 4 catches and a 50,
Yeah,
and he is surprise, the player of the match. I was quite sure that he will get it, although Kuldeep Singh got some cheap wickets in the end. Ashwin did bowl really well, and he was a strong
yeah,
contender as well, in my opinion. But a word on Riyan Parag, you have to give credit to the Rajasthan team for backing him enough, and
correct.
fortunately, he got an option of opportunity of batting earlier in the game, and he could show that he's not necessarily someone who's going to come and slog in. He can do that stabilizing role as well.
Definitely. I mean, you've seen quite a few comments across social media. Is like, what exactly is the role of Riyan Parag? He just bowls one over or so. He comes down batting order very late, or just add a couple of digit runs. But today, I think they promoted him, and he paid that confidence really well. He single-handedly took the match away from RCB, or at least gave the Rajasthan bowlers some score to fight, and I think that was enough. Yeah,
Yeah, this is going to be a really tough loss for RCB, especially because on this game and the previous game, their run rate has gone from positive to very close to point 0.8 minus in the negative. So, I mean, all the RCB fans, all they can hope is the run rate doesn't come into equation. They can win 3 or 4 games in the next few, and hopefully that'll be it. But quickly looking ahead to tomorrow's game, it's a big encounter from a IPL tabletop team's perspective. Gujarat playing SRH. SRH look in absolutely red hot form, and
Yeah,
Gujarat have had Hardik Pandya's injury concern every now and then, but they have surpassed everyone's expectation,
correct.
and they look favorites to be at least in the top two or top three.
Definitely, I think it's gonna be a great game for all the fans who are actually bowlers who like bowlers a lot. Because on one side you're gonna have Lockie Ferguson, another side you're gonna have Umran Malik, gonna have Shami, you're gonna have Bhuvneshwar Kumar, you're gonna have Rashid Khan, you're gonna have Sundar, and there's another spinner I think if I'm forgetting. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a great game from a bowling perspective. Going to be, I mean, also if SRH wins this, they are on the top of the table also like +2 if they win with a good margin. Gujarat if they win, they can consider themselves safe. You know, even if they kind of lose the other matches, they're still going to be at 14 points or so, and I think that's going to be enough. So they can mark themselves safe that at least they're going to qualify. So from that perspective, it's important for Gujarat. SRH do not want to lose their winning streak. It happens in IPL a lot of times. You have one bad game and it gets continued.
Yeah,
Have
yeah,
you may have a bad day in a field, but you don't want to really lose a game as such. You can still manage to win the game. So SRH has to do that. So yeah.
yeah. So, continuing with the SRH topic, the first couple of games we thought that they are continuing their bad form from the previous season. But what's turned around, Anil, 5 games in a row? That if
I
any team has that, unless you're a Punjab of 2018-19, you're sure to qualify for the playoffs.
Correct. I'm not sure what exactly happened because so you had Katic also leaving the staff, before just after the auction. So that happened. So people thought, okay, there's some issues with the team management. Then they had 2 losses. But I think what's main thing I can see is that the captaincy of Williamson. He has been in absolute red hot form when it comes to captaincy. He has a control over his players, the way he's changing the bowling unit. So I think that has been the main point, and plus the bowling performance from the team. I think that has been red hot. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I think
Uh,
supporting the team member, you have Abhishek Sharma. I in my life would not have seen Abhishek Sharma playing like this, or even thought about, okay, this guy can play a innings like that. I mean, it was a small total in the last game, 68, but he did came out with all guns blazing, right? And he did that again in another game also. So the confidence shown in the younger guys, I think that's what paying off for them.
Absolutely. I think we discussed on this show as well that the initial two,
Just
three games.
just just one comment on Ashwin. I saw that. That's fine with me if he goes into the dugout, if he gets retired out. I like that. So there's a guy here who's in his prime, who's supposed to be a goat. He is a goat of the game, and he's okay to face all the heat just to make sure that the team is in a comfortable position, right? If he wants to get retired out, okay, fine. He's going to do that for the team. And it actually shows a bad sign if it's in any other player, but he's like, yeah, I'm okay for it. With his bowling, I think he had a one bad game against RCB, but the rest of the game, he's giving less than 8 runs and over. Maybe not a wicket taker, but at least controls the match in the middle. So yeah, I mean, if he bowls his 4 overs, he sits in the dugout. I'm happy.
Yeah,
Uh,
and
yeah,
what I like about Ashwin coming at number three is he's not wasting any balls. Either he's
yeah, yeah.
getting out, or yeah. So unlike say Mitch Santner or even Nishan Kishan and a lot of other
I
guys
mean
we've
that
seen.
sometimes that's what the game is, right? You score I mean 7 balls, you score 19, 20 or run. That's what happened with Shah Rukh Khan last match, yesterday's match, and today Ashwin also 17 runs, right? One over is that makes a difference. Uh,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm absolutely happy with Ashwin.
Yeah, and their bowling lineup without doubt is the best. They've got everything:
Correct,
leg
correct.
spinner, off spinner, left arm bowler, right arm pass, everything they've got. For SRH, if and I agree with Andy, if I'm looking for a weak spot, although they are on a winning spree here, one is they haven't batted first as yet, so that's going to be a challenge if that happens tomorrow. And the other is that they do not have a genuine spinner. You got Puchit, who's been doing the job. But SRH without Rashid Khan and without a genuine spinner is surprising. But that could potentially hurt them at some point, considering the last couple of games have been pitches where we've seen a lot of turn.
Uh, but I think they're kind of compensating that with their fast bowlers, because if you look at the pitches in Mumbai, I think they are red soil pitches, so they support bounce and all. So I think that's where they have been, compensating with the lack of spinners. And I think at some point of time you will have Sundar also coming back into the side. So at least they can manage those 8 overs if they only give like 60 odd runs. I think that's also good enough. They can manage the rest of the pacers can manage that. I think what's going to happen is that once they go to playoff, which is going to happen in Eden, Kolkata, right? There maybe they face an issue. So I think it's going to happen at the end of the tournament, but I don't see really issue right now for lack of spinners. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen at a later stage, at a crucial stage. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, no, no, excellent. Should be a fascinating encounter tomorrow. Tough luck to RCB today, but Rajasthan played superbly well, got enough runs and that great bowling performance, which we've come to expect now from them. Yeah, thank you for engaging all the guys who've been, commenting on this stream. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe, like, share, comment, and we look forward to having you back again on a post game or one of our fantasy videos. Until then, Anil, thank you very much, and thanks everyone for your time.
thank you for having me. Thank you.